What is going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, Talk About Gay Sex, the live version. This is episode 257, making our way, and I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Maurice Doggette. How are you?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good in our second week of East Coast versus West Coast. As I'm on the West Coast for the, it's a competition here, and
Just like Drag Race.
Exactly. Shantae, you stay
Thank you,
again.
darling. Thank you. It's a double Shantae every week.
Exactly. I'm loving my time here in Los Angeles, having a great time. And in fact, I just took a walk a little while earlier to the iconic farmers market on 3rd Street and had a little lunch. I felt like I found this little Parisian cafe place, and I felt like I was in Paris. So it was a lot.
My.
Yeah,
That's
it was
amazing.
And then walked back.
I'm actually a little bit jealous.
Don't be, darling. Don't be. One thing I have been doing on the weekend, on Sunday Fun Day, I went out to Rocco's Bar here in West Hollywood, and they kind of have it set up in the back where you're in the back area of a parking lot, and these bars are getting pretty creative, so
Aren't they?
It's a huge lot. I felt like I was in somebody's barbecue backyard having cocktails. They had a million video screens up with great fun music from like 10 years ago, blasting the music. Yeah, Ultra Nate was jamming on there, and some great.
Oh my God, I love her.
Yes.
Now The Cure, honey.
Absolutely. So good. So that was a lot of fun. But it did get me thinking about, as these bars are kind of opening up, this bar in particular, Rocco's, is owned by Lance Bass. He's one of the owners of it. And one of the promoters was telling me that, as Rage, the iconic Rage, has gone down under, sadly, due to the pandemic, that they're going to buy that space and kind of have a new alternative bar over there, same owner. So it's really cool. But that being said, as some of these bars are, opening up, I can't help but reference an article about LA gay bars are fighting to stay afloat. And this article really talks about, say, the area that I was in, West Hollywood, but really the bars that are really suffering are bars that are like in downtown Los Angeles, bars that cater to alternative tastes, people of color. Those are the ones that are really either failing, maybe don't had to put GoFundMe pages up, and it makes me wonder, with bars shutting down around the country, Kodi, do you think we're in danger of losing like some of our niche spaces that really talk to like a more diverse crowd? And are we going to be left with just only white bars? And what do you think of this?
Oh my gosh, I hope not.
I know.
I went into panic mode when you said that. Not that there's anything wrong with the white bar. I'm totally fine going there. Any safe space, I totally would love to go there. But there's something to be said about our LGBT people of POC spaces, how needed they are, especially in this community. Like, that we need to have those spaces so that we feel comfortable. And honestly, I think it's really it's across the board that we're losing our safe spaces. So I think that that's something that needs to be addressed. But like you said, it's our Black and brown specific bars that are really hurting now.
Yeah. This article does it. I'll put this up on TAGSPodcast because it's details the LA bar scene that we're losing a lot of them. But you and I offline were talking about other bars across the country, in New York, how a lot of the same situation is happening over there as well. And I'm just hopeful that we don't, as businesses try and come back, that we don't, lose a lot of these spaces that really represented different types of communities. I mean, I think the article referenced people that didn't feel so comfortable coming into WeHo, that maybe were not native English speakers, that they had spaces that really, just really featured them and they felt comfortable in, that they wouldn't feel in, say, a more mainstream type of gay bar. So I was reading another article about lesbian bars are, declining, and there's
First of all, I love lesbian bars.
Do you?
I love a good lesbian bar. I don't know why the girls treat me so good. I feel like I'm home when I'm at a lesbian bar, honestly.
I could see that about you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let's just hope that we don't lose too many of our spaces. We'll keep you posted on this. I think it's
for sure.
Yeah.
I need to see more and more drag shows. I need to see all the drag shows in all the gay spaces.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we could not have this show today and not talk about the Bachelor, the former Bachelor, Colton Underwood, who just came out as gay. As you guys,
fix my face.
We have a lot to say about it.
There's something to unpack here.
He broke all news platforms today, and he certainly fits into our space here. Former Bachelor star Colton Underwood, you may know him. He came out as gay during a sit-down interview with Robin Roberts on GMA this morning, and like so many people, Underwood, he said he did a lot of soul searching over the last year, which helped him to accept his sexuality. Quote, "I've ran from myself for a long time. I've hated myself for a long time. I'm gay," the 29-year-old revealed. "I came to terms with that earlier this year, and the next step in all of this was sort of letting people know." He says he's the happiest and healthiest he's ever been in his life. That means the world to him. And much of Underwood's struggle with accepting his true identity came from his religious upbringing. So, quote, "I learned in the Bible that gay is a sin," he told Roberts. "I don't feel that anymore. I literally remember praying to God the morning I found out that I was a bachelor and thanking him for making me straight. I remember that vividly, saying, 'Finally, you're letting me be straight. Finally, you're giving me a wife, a fiance, that I'm going to have the kids, going to have the house.'" And as we all know how that turned out, it didn't. I have a lot of things to say about this, and I know you do as well.
I certainly do.
In many ways, I felt he grew up Mormon and with a huge religious background. And I grew up Catholic in the Catholic religion. And knowing how I can relate to him about how I used to pray as a kid going to Catholic school and being teased at times. He says he was teased too in school. And the amount of shame that I felt and praying, I remember like beating my head on like the bed, wishing that the gayness would come out of me, and it never did, was a whole thing. And so I can totally relate to that and definitely the religious aspect of it. Kodi, are you there? I think we may have lost Kodi there for a second. I'm not sure. Kodi, are you there? Maybe we need to refresh, Kodi, if you can. Teddy, am I still here? Am I okay on my end? If you can let us know. Okay, I am. It looks like Kodi is frozen. So, Kodi, your eyes blinked. Kodi, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, well, he'll probably come right back, and I'll just continue. The thing that I really related to him, like I was saying, was the religious aspect of it, and it's high time that we have better, that we don't let our religious backgrounds rule our sexuality. I mean, even with the Pope coming out saying that he doesn't support gay marriage was a huge just setback, I think, to our community. And so for that standpoint, him speaking out about religion and how all that, I really respected him talking about that. And we all, like I said, know how the Mormon religion really is, you know, unaccepting of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. And so from that part, I definitely was, you know, respected him. Where the part that I was a little bit not accepting, and I found the timing interesting of Colton Underwood coming out today, was that he has a brand new, hey there, you're back, Kodi.
I reloaded, I refreshed, so I'm back now.
Got it. So I was talking about the religious side, and that's what I really respected on him. And he speaks to so many people that are ruled by our religion. And I think that was definitely relatable. Where I find it interesting timing was the fact that not only did he do the Robin Roberts interview this morning, but he also, it was announced that there's a Netflix series coming out that's going to document his whole coming out experience. And it's going to be, who's the guy that he's going to be alongside? Gus
Kenworthy.
Oh, Kenworth. Gus Kenworth, it looks like.
Kenworthy.
Did they misspell it on this article that I have? Gus Ken.
Did they?
It's with a Y?
I think that, hold on one second.
Okay, but anyway.
It's Kenworthy.
Okay. Badonout.com. Olympian Gus Kenworthy will reportedly appear in the series, as well as his gay guide, and this is according to TMZ, about Colton's life. So it's going to feature coming out as gay, about his time as being in sports. And I find it really interesting, Kodi, that he would come out on AM Good Morning America, and then also have this huge announcement about a Netflix series that just you know. What do you think of the timing on that?
Totally. That totally raised all of the red flags for me. You hit the nail on the head for me, because I have so many questions from and about this story. Why is he doing this now? Is it just for the publicity? Why is this even a Robin Roberts interview? Why? He's a bachelor from like 5 years ago. How is he still relevant right now? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm being very cynical and judgmental, and I'm trying to let all that go and just embrace and welcome our gay brother. But then also there's the thing about him, the story about him being a stalker
to the woman that he ultimately picked on The Bachelor, that he was supposedly in love with.
Exactly. He placed a tracking device under her car. Who does that?
Right.
So there's just so many questions that I have that I'm trying to relax, relate, release, like before I bottom for the second time in my life ever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we definitely want to be sympathetic. We all had our own coming out stories, and when somebody comes out, it's how they come out, and I don't think anybody is mad at him for that. I think it's when you go on something that is so huge, you know how many viewers The Bachelor gets and the audience that it has. In some ways, it could be a good thing to show that audience that is it can be such a facade, right? And make believe. And that to have somebody in that world, that the epitome of heterosexuality, allegedly, right? I
mean, Billy Eichner said it best. Did you see the video of him?
What did he say?
I have to send it to you, because he kind of called him out and said it was on The Bachelor when he was on his season.
Right.
And he said to him, you could be the first gay bachelor ever in history. And it was kind of prophetic, and I don't know, maybe Billy Eichner is a psychic.
Exactly, right? I love him, Billy, by the way. He's so cool.
Is he so funny?
Yeah. I mean,
he swiped left on me on Grindr, but I'm okay with it.
I'm
at peace with it now.
Okay. Well, that's okay. You have a boy right now. I'm not worried about you.
I'm not worried about Billy Eichner. Okay.
But Teddy says he's got good gaydar. Absolutely.
He's got good gaydar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's kind of I'm kind of mixed on this because in regards, you know, you want to be happy that he's also feels comfortable coming out on such an iconic show. I think it says a lot, right? To kind of thwart that whole concept of the Bachelor and the reality show. But on the other end of it, I just feel you go from one huge iconic show, The Bachelor, and you decide to come out. There's that story that you told us about that was so shady and like deceptive, if that's really true. And then lastly, you do it on the eve of your new show that was announced about your own another reality show. So it's I'm kind of conflicted on all this, and I'm not sure.
I got my third eye on him. I'm watching him out the side eye. My mama eyes are on him. All right.
We want to know what you think. You can put it in the comment sections. Are you happy for him? What do you think? We'll read it out loud about Colton Underwood. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, he said, Billy Porter, I'm gay and black. Hollywood says back to him, wait 30 years. We don't have anything for you. But the what's this guy's name? Colton Underwood. He says, I'm gay and white. And Hollywood says to him, here's a Netflix series to you. So that screams volumes to me. Like that's
is that what Billy Porter said?
I believe that he tried to come out 30 years ago and they said you wouldn't work in Hollywood.
You know what I mean? That is such and this one gets handed, I mean, different time frame, of course, but not only does he get to kind of screw over a girl and fool everybody on that show, okay, we're not going to pin him down for that. But
I mean, who hasn't? We're going to talk about belonging in a second here. I'm going to share some stories.
But to your point, Kodi, he gets a Robin Roberts mega morning interview. Now, one could say because they're both on ABC and they're the same parent company, right? So there's always that he got that feature, and it's only keeping it in the family for them, money essentially. But then, of course, to be handed your own reality show so you can be comfortable with your coming out experience with an Olympian athlete by your side to make it all better. I'm not sure.
Who he looks kind of. They look very similar to.
They do.
Pointed that out. Twinsies. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to start dating. Oh my goodness.
Right. Oh, that would be too much. If that is, we will not be happy if that's. You want to be happy for him, but it's kind of wow. Nothing like rolling out the gay red carpet for you, the gay rainbow flag carpet for you, and here's your new reality show. You get to do it with Robin Roberts. So, I don't know. We'll see. We will keep you posted on that. Let us know what you think. DM me on tags at TAGSPodcast on our Instagram, and I'll read some of your comments next week for sure. Well, we got to move on to the segment that got us started here when we started Tags Live, and it's called Vulnerable Voices. And this week, we always dig a little bit deeper in this segment, and I love that. I love digging deeper.
Oh, me too.
Not that kind of deeper.
Oh, wait, what? Okay. Where am I again?
Did I lose you? Well, I entitled this one called Belonging, our sense of belonging or not belonging. And it stemmed from something I'm going to read you from Reddit. They write, feelings on being left out. I don't see this getting talked about much, this person writes, and it has been a persistently difficult thing to cope for me. For introverted or socially withdrawn and anxious people here, what has your introversion or asociality cost you? What are the things, alliances, events, opportunities you missed out on that you regret? And how do you feel generally within our queer group dynamics and your lack of integratability therein? So I don't know, this struck a chord with me about
Mm-hmm.
belonging and feeling. You and I were talking about this offline, and you were saying, Kodi, that you were always essentially an outcast. I think you called yourself a nerdy art geek or something. Is that what you said?
That was me, nerdy art geek, all through high school and college, and even now, really. I'm just a sexy nerdy art geek now.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think we were also talking about when you sleep with people, how you can. I was telling you, a friend of mine was in a relationship, and he's constantly
Mm-hmm.
been in long-term relationships where all of his friends have essentially been within his boyfriends. So when those relationships
Ooh.
ended, he lost essentially those friendships and hasn't been able to develop any meaningful ones, at least gay ones, outside of
Mm-hmm.
those relationships. And that can lead to a sense of belonging or not feeling a part of something. And I know I was telling you
Mm-hmm.
that this past year, I've really taken stock in my friendships and kind of got rid of some friends that they didn't, I felt like maybe they weren't my contemporaries or didn't
Mm-hmm.
always treat me as their equal. They had houses in the Hamptons, they had more corporate
Mm-hmm.
professional jobs, and they always would be excited to talk about my projects or my show, but it was
Mm-hmm.
always maybe I felt there was a sense of it's cute what I'm doing, and they would turn to like maybe my other friends to talk about the serious subjects, which at that time I just accepted it, but it made me feel like I didn't have my contemporaries, and I did feel a sense of belonging that was missing, I would say, from
Mm-hmm.
my friendships. And now I seem to have cultivated in this year some really strong friendships and people. I do feel a sense of belonging again. And it's such a great feeling to have that. But I think sometimes
Oh, thank
you're
you.
one of them. Yes, of course. You can go ahead and pat yourself on the back.
I already put that crown on my head, honey. It's just here right now.
Do you think though, Kodi?
I'm looking fierce over here.
Do you think sometimes we make I don't know if they're bad choices, because I was telling you about another friend of mine that had a therapist, and he was going on and on about how the therapist wasn't really working for him anymore. Well, lo and behold, it came out that he slept with his therapist way back when,
Whoa.
and it all came to a hilt when one day they were one of them, my friend, shared, I guess underhandedly, or just said, well, remember that time when we slept together way back when? Well, it came out that the therapist didn't appreciate that and said that was inappropriate, and then they got into a whole argument about the appropriateness or not, but essentially that's how they started this relationship. And you're a life coach. Isn't that rule number
I
one,
am.
Kodi? Don't sleep with your
That's
clients.
that should be anybody's rule, really. Don't mix the business with the pleasure like that. If you're, especially when you are so involved in the shaping of that person's life, like, don't sleep with them. That is something that is intrinsic in the field of, I can't believe that happened. Like, I'm over here dumbfounded by the fact that the therapist knew that he slept with that person, and he still allowed this other relationship that they have of him giving him therapy and transforming him, basically helping him to transform. Like, that's so crazy to me. That's rule number one, like you said. Don't do that.
Right. And it can lead you, I think, when you have these relationships or you're sleeping with people. We were talking about on Clubhouse, I believe, the other day.
Mm-hmm.
You can go through so many guys and sleep with a lot of people. You could fill your day up if you really wanted to. I know some people that breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack here and there. They can fill up their day. And
I'm dating somebody. I need a referrals. I need.
It can be fun. I've been there before, but it can also lead to a sense of being lonely because once they leave, you're just on to the next conquest. And who do you really? You could have a sense, a lack thereof, of belonging to anybody, really, if you often find yourselves sleeping with so many guys like that. What are your thoughts on that?
It can definitely leave you a little bit hollow, which is why I made a decision within myself to make sure that the people that I was sleeping with were someone that I was emotionally invested in, some people that I was mentally invested in, just that there were more connections there, because life is all about connections. And I believe that sex is just another facet of to connect with someone. So for me personally, like, and I do not judge people for sleeping with as many people as possible. Like, if that is what makes you happy, be safe, do what you have to do in order to maintain your health. But for me personally, it just didn't fill me up.
Yeah.
Pun intended. It did not fill me up.
Right.
So it didn't fulfill me. So I decided to make sure that I had connections with the people that I slept with. And it's been working out for me good.
Nice. Yeah. Somebody wrote in this thread that we started off with, I'm a very avoidant person who feels like people are more trouble than they're worth. I'm working on it, he says, of course, with a therapist. Hopefully he's not sleeping with this therapist. Like my friend, I feel left out in most aspects of life, all of which are aspects that I have that I'm a part of, I think he's writing. The biggest one, though, however, is sexual. Everyone is different in their sexual behavior, he writes, but I have such an active libido, and I see so many gay men who are a lot more sexually courageous and outgoing. I want to be a hoe, he writes, but my anxiety of being perceived, judged, or rejected really get in the way. And yeah, I mean, I think that goes to what we're talking about of sexual hookups. I think it's fine when you do have a lot of sexual hookups, but you also have to have meaningful relationships that, and however you define them, and you can't continuously. I've been there before where it's easier to just avoid talking to people, and I can be quite shy at times, but I have to often ignite my fire to participate. And sometimes it's easier for some people than others. I think it's sometimes easier to kind of just lay low and let me avoid all interaction for a while there. But I don't know. I think we're, especially as our LGBTQ acronym is, we're a social people. We're meant to kind of be, and even if it's just a couple people, I think it really nourishes our soul in so many ways. And it was no more felt than this past year, having meaningful relationships like that. So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. And you know what? This guy wants to have a hoe phase. I went through a hoe phase. I don't know if you did or not.
Yes.
You feel free to chime in.
I have, for sure. Yeah. And I don't think there's I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but
nothing at all. But I feel like you go through that phase, and then what's on the other side?
Yeah.
Meaningful connections with people that you know and you connect with, that you click with, basically.
Right.
So yeah.
And then what do you think about the whole idea of, developing true core friendships or meaningful relationships that aren't tied to either sex or, which is what we often do, your therapist or your boyfriend's friends? Like, do you think it's important to develop your own, try to at least, whether it's through a hobby or just something that you're exclusively interested in on your own?
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that, so for me, I could never, but I could never have sex with someone that I'm friends with. It's just not the way that my DNA is constructed as far as sexually. I can't really compartmentalize sex like that. It's just not how I'm built. But again, if I'm saying that with zero judgment. So if that's what if that's how you make your friends, then good for you, because I know several successful friendships that were built on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I told you before, I was dating my neighbor down the hall in the last summer during the heart of the pandemic.
Exactly.
And we had a little time off and didn't talk for a little bit. It just didn't work out in that capacity. Now we are as close as we could ever be. So I love the shift that we've had, and it's very healthy. And he's one of my closest friends right now that I love. So that's yeah. So I think that's a really good way. Any comments before we move on, Kodi? And
oh, for sure. I Dream of Anthony says that he agrees with me. Connection is key, and I said thank you. And then Matt says he likes his friends with benefits, but his friend with benefit doesn't like him back.
Oh,
that can be troublesome.
Yeah, right.
Because if you're invested emotionally and he's not invested emotionally, there's like the scale is tipped in his favor, I feel like. So I don't know if that's something that I would pursue.
Right.
Yes. Teddy says tantric imbalance, and that is beautiful. Thank you, Teddy.
Yeah.
I Dream of Anthony also says he's found it difficult to maintain platonic relationships with gay men.
Interesting.
But he has a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for chiming in there. Again, DM me if we want to hear what your thoughts on belonging and how you're finding meaningful relationships, how it occurs for you. DM me at TAGSPodcast on Instagram, and we will read those back at you. All right. Well, back into hot sex topics. And the first one we couldn't help but talking about because it's very happening right now, not for a good reason, but Madonna made news recently responding to the mass shootings in the US that we've all been plagued by and seeing play out in front of us, the killings of Black men. And the recent one was Dante Wright. Of course, I'm sure if many of you are keeping up with the George Floyd trial, it's not his trial, but it's about the man that killed him. Well, Madonna recently took her anger and frustration out on Instagram. She posted Monday about the 130 mass shootings that have taken place in the country since the start of the year and called for more gun control measures. Unsurprisingly, responses to Madonna's post were mixed, with some supporting her call for gun limits and others blasting her as an out-of-touch millionaire who has no right to an opinion on the matter. Usually, Madonna's pretty silent in her comments section, but she shocked many when she replied to a user named Karen Gaylor. Karen writes, I would bet you have people with guns to protect you and your family, but the little people can be left unarmed. If you take the guns away, criminals will always find weapons. The rest of us innocent people will be victims. You live behind high walls with protection. You do not live in the real world. Criminals do not fear police. Criminals do not fear police, judges, or jail. But if we are an armed society, they would fear the victims. Well, Madonna's response was, bitch, I don't have any security or armed guards around me. Come see me and tell me to my face, she writes, and tell me how not real my world is. I dare you, she wrote. You know nothing about me or my life. The only criminals I see right now are the police, who are paid to protect the people. But police are protected by judges in the criminal justice system, which is a joke because there is no justice if you're a person of color. Of course, your name is Karen, she ended it with, which I thought that was a fierce clapback. And what did you think when you heard that?
Oh my God. My love for Madonna just heightened even more. It's through the rafters now. It was filling up the house and now it's through the rafters. The fact that this Karen and other people have had the audacity to say that she is not entitled to her opinion. She lives in this world just like like we do. And she's entitled to her opinion. She sees what's going on just as well as we see what's going on.
With black children, I might add.
Exactly. She has a black child. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
Three black children. Yeah. So
there it is. Yeah. Done.
So she does. Yeah.
So she has a concerted interest in protecting those children. So I applaud her, because if Madonna says something, that it's going to get to so many more people than if I said something. I was going to put you in there with me, but I don't know. Maybe you're on the same level as Madonna. I don't know.
No, I'd like to think. I love it. Yeah, I agree. Also, does somebody have something to say about this before we move on? Because I love that story.
Well, I Dream of Anthony says, good job, Madonna. She has always been able to see through the thin veneer of American hypocrisy.
Ooh, good one.
We got some lovely, intelligent men in the room today.
Wow. Okay.
And then James says he was in our clubhouse last week. So on Thursdays we have a clubhouse that we do every week at from 9 to 11. So come check us out.
Eastern time. Yeah.
Yes, Eastern time. So he says we need to normalize mental health. It's so important. We have so much stress in America. And I agree. It's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, kudos to Madonna. All right, moving on. We had a story that I had to talk about because I knew Kodi would be all about this. Patreon.
Thank you, darling.
By the way, we have a Patreon account where you get extra special sexy content like our after show. Every week it comes out, Tags After Show. We also have a dark and dirty twice a month extra show where we go darker and deeper. You can go to patreon.com/talk about gay sex. Well, Patreon is in the news right now because they pulled detailed renderings of, say his name, Bowser.
Bowser. You were so close.
I know. You know how it is when you psych yourself up. Bowser, who I didn't even know was, you're going to explain it, Bowser's penis over possible Nintendo complaints. So interested in animating a hyper-realistic 3D version of Bowser's penis from Super Mario Odyssey. If you're an adult artist on Patreon, you may be out of luck, they write. So according to 3D Adult Modular Acco Arcade, Patreon pulled a 3D prop modeled after Bowser's penis from the site after it received a copyright claim from Nintendo of America. The prop, which was specifically designed for use in adult source filmmaker videos, features an engorged red shaft with spikes across the testicles, tip and girth. A black spiky cock ring with ring adorns the base, reminiscent of Bowser's studded collar. And I saw it. It's rough. It turned me on in a way, but I'm not sure I'd want.
It looks like it feels really good.
Or it looks like it would tear the insides of you out too, as those balls would too, as they flapped against your ass. I'm not sure. I'm equally stunned and horrified and intrigued all in one gulp. That's all I have to say of it.
Well, Steve, pain is pleasure and pressure bust pipes, just so you know.
There you go. Right. Absolutely. I mean, what were your first thoughts? Because first of all, explain who this character Bowser really is.
So Bowser is the main villain in the Super Mario franchise. And he is basically the last boss that you fight in order to save the princess.
And a true beast, if there ever was a beast.
And he's like a turtle dinosaur, Godzilla type deal.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. So,
but he's a total daddy. So, and he's got a collar on with spikes, and you know what? I'm here for Bowser's penis, so he can get this pussy.
Okay, that is so funny. And you know what's so funny about it is so many of us that didn't follow these games and Super Mario Odyssey now this is in the news now and going to draw more attention to this game. In fact, they should do like an X-rated version of the game. I think I would play that one just
I bet you would.
Yeah, and I would want to be one of the princesses. Of course.
I have a wig, honey. I could just let you borrow it. And a dress, actually. Princess Peach is her name.
And I think I got some lipstick around here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Of course, the parent company is never going to let this slide, right? Nor is Patreon too, because as we know on Patreon, they don't allow like renderings or drawings and copyrighted for sure. And then the sexual content you have to be really careful with as well. So I could see where this could get somebody in a lot of hot water. But
oh yeah,
I thought it was kind of clever and hot at the same time. And I don't know, I'm for it. What were your thoughts on it?
Definitely fun, and I would just buy one to have around my house. I need one right now, but like you said, I don't know if we can buy one right now.
I know, exactly. Yeah, I want that dildo though. It's like pretty hot. So, anyways, yeah. Any Mario is pretty popular, Steve. I know I'm so out of it when it comes to the games. Definitely, Matt, I want the X-rated version of this, and maybe I will get into games. Otherwise, Cody's always he knows everything about superheroes and all of this. So yeah, Teddy's all about Luigi. That's what I need. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh,
Luigi
is so sexy to me. Oh my gosh, Teddy. I need a break. Can we take a 5? Because I need to go and come back.
Well, you guys can all have Luigi while I have Bowser and his huge prickly cock. I'll take that any day. Yeah. I have a feeling Luigi has a short nubby one, which is fine if you're
I'm okay with it.
Yes.
He probably has a huge bubble butt and that's all I need in my life.
Well, it's time for our favorite segment that we've been doing for the last several weeks here, where we vote on our favorite thirst trap of the week that this site puts together almost every week of some of the hottest OnlyFans and porn stars. And did you want to put that in the comment section, Cody, so people can?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Got it right now.
So this week's thirst trap, which of these 16 gay porn stars by Straight Up Gay Porn, they asked the question, who took the best photo or video? And our job, Cody's and my job, is to descriptively describe in this audio podcast why they took why they caught our attention and why we're dripping up this drool below us. And we will post this. If you're playing along with us right now, check the comment section. And if not, I will post this on TAGSPodcast. And please let me know your vote. All right. I think I have to go with, there was so many to choose from this week, but I could not. I had to, as I rolled the dice and I saw this guy named John Clyde.
Oh my gosh. I follow him on Twitter.
Do you? I'm going to start following him. First of all, he is totally clothed in this picture, if you can believe it, guys. He's got a really cute haircut. He's kind of light skinned, but dark black hair. He's got perfect eyebrows, by the way. He's wearing a white, it looks like Long John's underwear kind of rolled up, and Long John's semi see-through bottoms that are tightly fitting around his quads, and the hugest erection cock like piercing through these Long John underwears that you can see every crevice and outline of his cock in these. It's almost better than seeing it outside of it because it's so delicious, and I'm all for it. I have to go over to Twitter and here we go again. I might have to check out his OnlyFans. It's like nuts. This game is like not helping me out.
Right? It's putting you in the hole.
Yes. He's also
literally.
I also noticed on his Twitter, he has a beautiful round bubble butt as well. So if you're an ass guy, John Clyde's got it for you. If you're a dick guy, he's got it too. He's really cute as well and sexy. So that's my vote for the week. And just a sidebar note on this, friend to the show who's been on our show before is featured Bruce Beckham. He has been on Tags Podcast a few different times, and he made the list this week too. And he's always sexy and hot himself, so he gets another vote for me. Who was your thirst trap, Kodi, this week?
Okay, so my favorite this week was JT, and it's a video that he's on, and this should come as no surprise to anyone. He is facing the wall, and I think he's on a couch, and he has his ass in the air, and he's just playing with he's playing with his cheeks and showing his hole, and he's looking back, and it's one of the hottest things that I've ever seen. And just me being an ass man, it pressed all the right buttons for me. So
I pressed play during this.
Thank you so much for that.
I pressed play.
Oh, did you?
For a second, all of 8 seconds of it that he teasers you. And it's JT, TEE, by the way. JT at JT Adult Film is what he goes by on Twitter. And the part that I got to in the 8 seconds was, you're right, ass on the couch and him spreading that huge ass, showing that huge hole right in your face. It's pretty tasty, I might add. Pretty hot. I can see.
Makes me hungry. Let me just say that.
Hungry, yes. Very hungry. I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. It's JT.
Oh my God. Cake, darling. I'm having cake.
Yes. Did anybody vote on our site here for anybody that they picked?
Yeah. So Teddy says Real Talix, who I was just looking up.
Raheem? Is it
Raheem Shabazz? But I didn't see him until James pointed out that he was on there, and I need to look at that video right now. Oh, I'm so upset with myself.
You can have more.
He's one of my favorites.
Oh, really? Is he?
Yeah.
What's he?
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing in this? In this week's?
It's not him. It's someone else.
Oh.
I was afraid that you guys would be able to hear it. This is another guy. I don't know. Oh, Real Talix via Raheem Shabazz. Okay, that makes sense. And that's the one that.
Real Talix is who we're.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He is super hot.
Oh, that's so funny. I pressed play too.
Is huge.
Oh.
I got really concerned that you guys would be able to hear it.
I know. Wow.
It's in the earphones.
Teddy, good. Thank you for getting it wrong on Raheem, but it's really Real Talix, and I just pressed play. I might have to rethink. I'm going to stick with mine, but I have a second favorite now, and I'm going to check this guy out for sure. It's huge, and he's super sexy.
Yeah, he is so hot. They also say Dante Martin is very hot.
Oh, yeah.
So.
He's been on the list before, and I'm not mad at Dante.
We love Dante Martin.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Super fun. Thanks for playing on this. I will post this.
My favorite game.
I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com so you can play along too and let us know. Follow Kodi Maurice Doggette at Mr. Maurice, and also his coaching. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching on Instagram. And don't forget to follow us and DM me, ask for sex advice or weigh in. Follow us on Instagram. It's at TAGSPodcast, at TAGSPodcast. We've got every week we are going to be doing our Clubhouse. If you are part of Clubhouse, follow me, Steve V. Rodriguez, and we are live tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, called Sex Positivity. I will post it on tagspodcast.com so you can find out how to follow us if you're on Clubhouse, because we get into the conversations. It's really fun, right? You're off this week, though, right, Kodi?
I am off this week. I have a birthday.
No worries.
So I'm sorry I'm going to miss. Can I drop in, though? I want to drop in. I'm going to go to the bathroom and just drop in and be like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
Please do. That's what
It's not my birthday. It's a friend's birthday.
That's what Clubhouse is all about. So, drop in. Take a break and drop in.
I think I am. I'm going to just excuse myself for a couple minutes and then come see you guys.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much for playing today. It's been so much fun. And this show gets repackaged tomorrow on all podcasting platforms. Continue to be safe, get vaccinated, wear your mask, and keep it sexy. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.